Now, class 12D history, class 12D student history. Today I am going to teach you chapter 4 Thinkers, Belief and Buildings. And now there are some certain subtopics. What were the main features of Bhakti? And you have development of Puranic Hinduism, how Buddhist text prepared and preserved, and there are certain short notes. Now, first of all, what were the main characteristics of Bhakti? Bhakti meant deep devotion towards any god or goddesses. The tradition of Bhakti became quite popular after the Mauryan period. Its features were as follows. Those who followed the path of Bhakti, first, those who followed the path of Bhakti believed in pretensions. They emphasized individual worship with deep devotion. Those who followed the path of Bhakti believed that the worship should be true. God appears in the form in which the devotee wants to see him. The god or goddesses can also be in human form. They can even exist in the form of a lion, a tree, or any other shape. As the society accepted this view, the sculptors started making beautiful statues. The gods and goddesses were given special respect. Their idols were installed in the temples. The tradition of Bhakti inspired expression through pictorial art, sculpture and craft. The path of Bhakti was open for all, whether the rich or the poor, the men or the women, the upper caste or the lower caste. Now next is development of Puranic Hinduism. Puranic Hinduism development. How? Puranic Hinduism originated from the notion of a savior. True tradition were part of Hinduism, Vaishnavism and Shaivism. Vishnu was the principal deity in Vaishnava traditions and Lord Shiva was regarded as the chief god in Shaivism. In both the traditions, special emphasis was laid on worship of a specific deity. In this type of worship, the bond between the devotee and the god was seen as one of the love and devotion. It is called as Bhakti. Incarnation or avatarism. Various cults were developed around various avatars of Vishnu in Vaishnavism. 10 avatars were recognized in this tradition. It has been believed that whenever the world is threatened by disorder and destruction because of the dominance of evil forces, the deity takes avatar to save the world in different form. Probably different avatars were popular in different parts of the country. All the local deities were recognized as form of Vishnu and Vaishnavism became a more unified religious tradition. Sculptures. Some of the avatars represented in sculptures of other deities were also made. Shiva was represented by the linga, but he was also represented in human form in many sculptures. All these representations of deities were based on a complex set of ideas. Their attributes and symbols were depicted from their head dresses, ornaments, and weapons or auspicious objects the deities hold in their hands, how they are seated, etc. Stories of Puranas. In order to understand the meaning of these sculptures, historians have to be familiar with the stories associated with them. Some stories are found even in the Puranas composed by Brahmins. By about the middle of first millennium CE, many stories out of these were in circulation for centuries. These include stories about gods and goddesses. They were composed in simple Sanskrit words and were read aloud to everybody. Most of the stories of Puranas were developed through mutual contacts of people, priests, merchants, common man and women. Common man and women used to move from one place to another and used to exchange their beliefs and ideas. For example, Vasudev Krishna was an important deity of Mathura region, but during many centuries his worship spread to different parts of the country as well. Now, next is how Buddhist texts were prepared and preserved. Buddha used to give teachings through debate and discussion. Men, women, and children attended these discussions and discussed what they heard. None of his teachings were written down during his lifetime. After his death, his followers called a council of elders at Vaishali. This council compiled all of his teachings. These compilations were known as Tripitakas, which literally means the three baskets to hold different types of texts. Firstly, they were transmitted orally and then written and classified according to their subject matter and length. Tripitakas. Three Pitakas are included in Tripitakas: Vinaya-Pitaka, Sutta-Pitaka, and Abhidhamma-Pitaka. Vinaya-Pitaka is a collection of rules and regulations for those who join the Sangha or monastic order. Buddha's teachings were included in Sutta-Pitaka. Abhidhamma-Pitaka deals with philosophical matters of Buddhism. Each Pitaka consists of many individual texts. Later on, Buddhist scholars wrote commentaries on these texts. Mahavasma and Dipavasma. When Buddhism spread to new lands like Sri Lanka, other texts like Mahavasma and Dipavasma were written. These texts contain regional histories of Buddhism. Some of these texts had biographies of Buddha. Most of the oldest texts were in Pali language, but later on texts were also written in Sanskrit language. Preserving Buddhist texts. When Buddhism spread to East Asian countries, then many pilgrims like Fayan, Huinsong traveled from China to India. They took many texts to their country where they were translated by many scholars. Indian Buddhist teachers also traveled to different countries. They carried Buddhist texts with them to disseminate the teachings of Buddha. For many centuries, these manuscripts were preserved in monasteries of different parts of Asia. Scholars also compared modern translations from Pali, Sanskrit, Chinese, and Tibetan texts. Now, next is short notes. I am going to give you short notes. Now, first it distinguishes between fatalist and materialistic. Fatalists belong to Ajivika traditions. According to them, everything in life was predestined and could not be changed. Pleasure and pain cannot be changed in the course of life. They can neither be lessened nor increased. On the other hand, the materialists belong to the Lokayat tradition. They consider the talk of gifts and donations as a doctrine of fools. They considered all such things as an empty lie, so they did not believe in alms, sacrifice or offering. They wanted to enjoy life to the maximum and had no belief in next world. Now, Buddhist philosophy. What is this world? According to Buddhist philosophy, the world is transient. It is constantly changing. It is soulless. It has nothing permanent and eternal. It is mortal. Now, next is, what is the meaning of nirvana in Buddhism? According to Buddhist tradition, nirvana means an escape from the cycle of birth and rebirth. It means an attainment of self-realization. Literally, it signifies the extinguishing of ego and desire. It means the end of the cycle of suffering for those who renounce the world. Now, write about Chaityas. The word Chaitya has been derived from the word Chitta, The Hindi word Chita meant a funeral pyre and by extension a funerary mound. In the Buddhist literature, Chaita were those sacred places that were associated with the life of Buddha. For example, the Buddhists consider Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, Sarnath and Kusinagara as the Chaityas. List any 2 points of difference between Mahayana and Hinayana. Hinayana was the traditional form of Buddhism, whereas Mahayana was its modern form. Hinayana tradition followed the path of old respected teachers. That is why it was called as Theravada. However, Mahayana had a new way of thinking. Literally, the Mahayana meant the great vehicle, whereas the Hinayana meant the lesser vehicle. Now, philosophical, next is question of the philosopher of Vedic tradition and outside were what were the thinking of Vedic philosophers in 6th century BC. The Upanishads are the texts of the Vedic tradition. They are the storehouse of many new ideas. They show that people were curious to know the meaning of life. They were also eager to know about the possibility of life after death and rebirth. The issues of rebirth and the past deeds were hotly debated. All the Vedic thinkers were concerned to understand and express the nature of the ultimate reality. A few thinkers outside the Vedic traditions were also raising the question whether the ultimate reality was single or plural. The people had also started speculating the significance of the sacrificial tradition. Hence there was an emergence of thoughtful environment. Now, what was the method of symbol of Buddha sculpture? Many early sculptures showed the presence of Buddha through symbols instead of showing him in the human form. For example, the empty seat became the symbol of meditation of Buddha. The symbol of wheel was also used quite frequently. This symbol stood for the first sermon of Buddha delivered at Sarnath. Actually, such sculptures cannot be understood very easily. For example, the tree does not stand just for a tree, but it symbolizes an event in the life of the Buddha. To understand such symbols, it is necessary for historians to understand the tradition of those who produce these works of art. Yeah.